Believers are reading God's Word, trying to find out how to stay right with God, not knowing that the enemy is the one pushing them with his accusation that they are a fraud. If you want to be like God, he says, come on, surely you can figure this out. Use your knowledge of good versus evil to understand what God is all about. Leaning on our own understanding, we don't even see that we've gone astray. The mission was never for us to strive to figure out how to be okay. But the fruit on the tree looked good for eating, so just a little bite is what we take, not realizing that even just a little leaven now leavens the whole cake. The sweetness of the gospel, now bitter as can be, Jesus warned us about not partaking in the leaven of the Pharisee. No one made Jesus madder than the religious leaders of that time, because what they were unknowingly pushing was that the tree of the knowledge of good and evil was the patent for God's design. But true relationships can't follow a rule book. Rather, it's a matter of the heart. But in our fallen human nature, we all just want so much to be smart. That's why the tree of the knowledge of good and evil still trips us up to this very day. The only way out is to believe that Jesus' finished work alone is what can make us okay. It's not in our ability to discern right from wrong, but rather in our childlike faith that God really is leading us all along. God never intended us to eat from that tree. We were always intended to walk by faith rather than in our own ability. Faith in what? A good God who really loved us all along. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil is what led us into seeing everything wrong. Faith in what? A good God. God surely didn't change, but our view of him did. The lie that Adam and Eve believed now left them scared and they hid. Now viewing God themselves and each other through the lens of right versus wrong. Now judging ourselves and others would ensure we never get along. Humanity's newfound job of being judged would destroy our ability to see past faults. No more love or empathy for each other, just raging thoughts of insults. We would need to be renewed in our mind back into a childlike way, where trust in a good God would override our knowledge of what is and what is not okay. Where we see bad behavior, we are quick to condemn, but God knew that would never lead people into knowing him. Amazing grace when they deserve it the least, how can it be that would be God's plan, to set our hearts and minds free?